What we're doing is we're trying to pilot a new way of working. Engagement in the past has tended to be we pay farmers, land users a sum of money to deliver certain output. At the end of that funding period, we have no mindset change, we've got no sustainability. So what we're trying to do is have an approach modelled on an international example in the Catskills in the USA, where they've been successfully controlling water quality through catchment management for the last 30 odd years. And it's about empowering the farmer and land user, giving them the opportunity to improve the outcomes they want to see for their business or their interests, but also deliver for water quality as well.
This field has had particular issues many years ago with water coming out through the gate too fast and into the wrong place. The information we received when we were first shown the maps was just like, wow, this is amazing, because it was so accurate. Having known the ground, we farmed here for 3 generations. Like, we've known the ground and we've known what happens on the bad weather, but it's just the information we gained with the LiDAR means we can do a little bit extra away from this field, and the problem, this would be a very high risk field for cropping, the problem can be virtually eliminated, that we can carry on cropping this field responsibly in the future.
Myself and 5 other farms, part of the Beacons Water Group, were successful in an EIP funding project, and we have been assessing all of the greenhouse gas emissions arising from each of the farms and the amount of carbon sequestration that is occurring on each of those farms as well, in terms of the trees and hedges and woody biomass, and then the carbon sequestration into soils across each of those farms to determine what position is in terms of the balance between emission and removal on each of the farm businesses and collectively. Farmers have got to take control of the narrative. They've got to basically be providing an evidence base which then translates through the supply chain to the consumer. So I think that's the big opportunity here, is to make sure we've got something that is evidence-based, that can tell that positive story, that shows that we are producing lower emissions food, that we're doing that in an environmentally sympathetic way, that we're adding to the value of the environment around here.
Newton Farm is situated about 5 miles east of Brecon in the Usk Valley. The River Usk is quite a challenge to us as far as managing floodplain grassland. We've got quite a few kilometres that run with the Usk, and flooding is very challenging. So one of the main reasons we're trying to protect the riverbank is to try and hold on to our soils and stop the soils and the bank eroding into the river, and we're basically losing land. So the more stabilisation we can get in the banks, the better for us. And also, when it comes to flooding, as these trees mature, you'll be able to slow the flow down and hopefully protect our land, and at the same time you're protecting water quality. The next issue will be grazing livestock. So we're trialling this year now some no-fence collars. So those will be put on the cattle's necks, and you'll create a virtual fence line, and then as the cattle get closer to the riverbank, they'll have a vibration and a noise which will keep them off the bank and then protect the water, the river, and also stop them straying across the river to neighbouring farms.
The weather station itself is equipped with lots and lots of sensors, all with a solar panel backup. It's sending live data, millions a second going up into the cloud, and this is lifetime feed data that can be accessed by anybody in the world. Using the evidence of this weather station, it's just liberating really. Being an organic farmer, we don't have a limited supply of nutrients, so what little nutrients we have, we make sure that they're effectively placed at the right time. And the evidence based on these soil sensors here, the ground temperature probes and the weather data, gives us that evidence to make sure that we are putting the nutrients on at a time when the ground can accept them and the plant can use the nutrients. So it's effectively saving us money because we're getting better use of the resources, but making sure that we're compliant also with Welsh Government and evidencing that.
We're living in a special place really, and we're grateful for that. But I think it's important that we actually accept the risks that we perhaps pose to the environment, and understanding those and do what we can to reduce those risks, if you like. It isn't actually that much that we've got to do, if you like, to have an influence and change. But it is a matter of just being aware and accepting that previously how we perhaps have done it, it was causing a problem, if you like. And if we're going to be active in terms of repairing that, then that's what we need to do. Graze from uphill, have a water supply in the right place, and so on. It's going to be better for the farm, for our soil, and going forward. In terms of the facilitation part, it's so important that that contribution from Welsh Water is really helpful in terms of making the group work and making things happen, if you like, because without that facilitation role, I don't think we'd be meeting and doing things as proactively as we are, really.